I'm pretty anti-consistency in style, much as I am in music. I must have things now. I'm very much a product at the end of the 20th century. I couldn't conceive of a life where I wasn't painting and making music. I am really fortunate in having both the time and the inclination and possibly the talent to work in both mediums. I'm either really reviled, or I'm being applauded, or I'm being sorely missed. It's one of those three states. I'm very certain in my work. I don't feel as though I'm open to anybody or anything. I know its worth.
What is the worth of your stuff?
That's for me to know. That's for me to know and others to purchase.
David, look straight at me, please. That's lovely. Bowie. David. Hello.
David, can you stop? David, can you spin you round? David, just behind you. Look round for us, David. Look round.
One of the gallery of Cork. Okay. Yes. And then from those are real, and I drew them. The shots actually, and I put those to the computer, some straps. You see everybody's a little bit strapped, and then they were laid down with a little palm. I got this. Do you
have any plans to release some of it?
It's a bit of a tool. Not really. He's got number one. Yeah.
So we'll do Richard and Diane.
Sure, absolutely.
Away in this school.
Yeah.
Then we'll do the walk around.
Yeah.
And then we'll do
I
know each other. I imagine.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What a wonderful exhibition.
Very
What about leaning on this one? And we do it from this angle so we get both situations. Some worse than seeing a cable and
Just hang down.
What are you taking turns?
Yeah, well, it'd be
That's good, no, I like that.
Get the coffee in.
That's what you said in Soviet. In common
David, look straight at me, please. That's lovely. Great.
Oh yeah. Oh it is. I wonder if it's in colour now. You there.
David, just over to me, please. Can we leave it?
Well, didn't I go
What's she doing with this?
cigarette.
Yeah, it's like it's very in pain, and it looks really good. It's just making it that way. No, it's a gun. It's a rifle. It's a rifle. It's taking it more than a minute. This time it's all going back. It's just
It looks to me like it's a bit That's the measure. That's the show that you because there's a gun, because they wanted like to show
When's the new album out?
September. Without doubt.
My name's on the list. Let's come.
You've got a decent chance if you go around there and try and get him for the win on that.
Outside because I'm waiting.
Boy, wanker.
Jeremy?
Is it Jeremy Irons? God, they all look different in real life, don't they? I don't.
You can be sure you can get your report. No, because now it goes about painting, so... And I'm an interior architect, so I like to draw. And I had done this years ago, many years ago, so you see, and there are many names of songs. It started striptease and what? Don't show that on the television. Yeah.
Steve, not looking. Can you not see it?
Roger, sit here, please. Roger, both this in. Roger.
What did you think of the exhibition?
Excellent. I've known he was a good painter for about 20 years, so yeah. I think he's terribly talented.
Roger, just turn around.
Did you buy anything?
Yep.
How much?
Ooh. Money in the farewell.
Just one here for me.
Excuse me, Council.
Next. Can you turn the stand on the stair?
David, there are a tremendous number of different styles in this exhibition. What is it that motivates you to choose what you're going to do?
That's actually coining the phrase that's appropriate, really. Whatever the job in hand is the style that I tend to adopt. I'm pretty anti-consistency in style, much as I am in music. That I tend to use style more as a palette, something that's available to pick and choose from, rather than adopting a specific style and staying with that.
Do you have a
thing? The content is really something that I look at harder, and then fathom out stylistically what happens if you use one style or another against that content, what the resonance is, what the sort of dialogue produced is going to be.
Do you have a favourite kind of medium in which to work, or do you just like using everything, experimenting with all sorts of different mediums?
I really do quite like using everything. I think I used to work in oil more in the late 60s and 70s, but it takes too long to work with. I like acrylics because it's immediate gratification. You can dries very quick. No, I must have things now. I'm very much a product of the end of the 20th century, so it's immediate gratification. I want to work. If I've built up a layer of 5 or 6 colours, I want to put the 7th on now. I don't want to wait until next week. I'm not very patient, but patience is not one of mine.
Tell us about this work behind you, which I understand you're...
Well, this section of it, the small radio and the small child's coffin and the kitchen table, are part of a thing that I really got triggered by going to South Africa recently. I've been going to Africa since the late 70s, specifically at that time, Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania. But since South Africa opened up, I've been there this year. There was a district there called District 6, which was, it was a black community, and it was in the midst of a white suburb. And so the government at that particular time cleared it out and transplanted everybody who was living there to the other side of Table Mountain. This is down in Cape Town. And it was just sort of, and the plot has been totally left abandoned, so it's an utter waste. It was totally unnecessary, and it hasn't achieved anything except not using some very good land, which could still be carrying a strong community there. So it was somewhat based around that feeling of District 6. And the coffin was really, I guess, sort of in mourning of that particular small plot of land.
It had quite an impact on you at the time.
Yeah, and there's actually a vignette going on inside here. The lights on. There's a sort of a rather rugged-looking Afrikaner figure at the back, and ritualistic columns with small African heads on. It almost looks like something in sense of it looks rather memorial-like inside, something like that. And the radio underneath it, I put together a tape of very early 50s songs from Miriam Makeba, and some dialogue from her. I interviewed her while I was there and put splices of her dialogue in between the songs. One recurrent phrase was Mandela telling her that you must, if you're negotiating with an adversary, is always to forgive, but never forget. That's what she says on the tape, and that keeps popping in there.
How important is art to you? I know you have a huge collection, but the actual business of creating yourself.
Yeah. It's like lifeblood. I mean, I couldn't conceive of a life where I wasn't painting and making music. It would be something like that. Would be an alien existence.
Is it more than music, or the same?
Yes, it is. The very act of it's more than an expression as well. It's almost like it's an existence. It becomes more of an existence. But you do tend to hold great store by the kind of anti-world or kind of doppelganger world that you create when you're making music or art. It's as real and as solid and fundamental as the one that you physically live in. It really is giving manifest strength to an unconscious or imaginary part of our way of life. I think the imagination is something to be nurtured.
Would you give up music for art?
No, but neither would I give up art for music. I am really fortunate in having both the time and the inclination and possibly the talent to work in both mediums. Yeah.
Here you are, this exhibition is sited right in the middle of the art establishment. How will you feel if the critics are less than charitable to what you've got on show here?
I've almost sold it all.
But are you affected by what the critics might have to say?
I've been in the rock business for about 30 years. I sort of developed an understanding of what the difference between critique and criticism.
But music critics on the whole have been
you don't
reasonably
know.
good to you.
Have I got stories? That's not exactly true. I mean, I'm either really reviled, or I'm being applauded, or I'm being sorely missed. It's one of those three states. and one goes back. It vacillates, you know. It's a periodic thing. It changes throughout one's career.
But here you are, really laying yourself open for the first
No,
time.
I'm not. I don't feel like that, you see. I'm very certain in my work. I don't feel as though I'm open to anybody or anything. I know its worth. I collect art. I know art very well. I know the worth of my stuff. And I don't need to be told.
What is the worth of your stuff?
That's for me to know. That's for me to know and others to purchase.
Say the critics don't appreciate it.
Then the critics don't appreciate it. Full stop. It's not going to stop me painting or working.
And you won't mind that?
Not at all. Not at all, no. Because I know a lot of the critics as well.
Lovely. Smashing. Thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure. Yes, of course. Yes.
You know what a t-shirt is,
That's talking
really.
head.
Teaching you to suck eggs. I probably won't use it at the end of the day, but one never knows.
They need to know the coverage.
Absolutely. Well, it isn't that. It's the very time that you don't do it to shop is the one time that you find that you need it because something else is...
That's what I felt when I first saw them. And then I got quite obsessed by the school. That's the particular crowd that I really, really liked.
But it's more a starting point then?
For me, I'd always known about them ever since I was a kid. I can't see that word. It opened up a lot since then, but I guess it was a bit of a starting point. Yeah.
If you really helps you do music then?
No, I think it's such a hypothetical question. I think it would be impossible for me to...
David, look up a second, David!
Look up, David!
Mind yourself, don't be silly. Jesus Christ.
I can see a car coming.
That's all right.